My friends in San Diego, they would leave skinny, come back diesel. You know.
It's the same deal in Mexico, man.
Of course, that's the San Diego starter pack. Tijuana starter pack. That's what it is.
So you're from Corona, Queens, you said, right?
Yeah, I was born in Manhattan, but since I'm like 6 years old, from Corona, Queens. So I'm from Corona. That's why I lived there till like 5 years ago, and then I moved out here.
What was it like for you moving out here? This was such a... Yo, when I saw that Hoya post on Instagram, like, driving through fucking Tamiami Airport in Kendall, I was like, yo, that's what the fuck is Hoya doing in Kendall?
It was like, what it was, I always wanted to come out here.
Your mom lived down here for a while.
Not nobody. Right? She came back in the day. I'm talking about in like the 50s and the 60s. Coming through. My mom's from Nicaragua, so she was working for people.
This thing is from Nicaragua.
Yeah, Nica Power. You know what's up. But then everybody in New York, that's why everybody from New York is down here, because this is our vacation spot. To us, it's like being in the Bahamas, but you're in America.
And everyone's Latino, you can speak Spanish.
Yeah, and everybody, you got that, people know each other, the family members back and forth, and you got that Caribbean feel, even the water, the weather, but you can drive, straight to New York. You know what I mean? You're
95 North.
Yeah, it's mainland, so it's big. You know what I mean? So I always loved it down here, and basically, when my wife, funny, when she passed away, rest in peace, she saw my elementary school in Corona that I came up, and we were driving past it. And I said, "Yes, my elementary school." She goes, "Why?" She goes, "It looks like a prison." She goes, "Why is there bars on the window?" And I said,
"Same shit down here."
Yeah, and I go, "So they don't rob it." She goes, "Rob it? Why are they gonna steal the school?" My rest in peace. She was from Holland, and over there, she was also really pure-minded, not an evil bone in her body. And I'm like, they're gonna fucking steal everything in that fucking place. And then she swore to me. And look I'm 44 right now, right? They were starting metal detectors when I was 10, when I was 9, 10. It was the first wave for my area. I didn't think about it till like recently, like, man, that's early on in my elementary, they were already starting to bring metal detectors.
Fuck. Now they have all the reason in the world to have that.
Now they have every
people
reason.
fighting it now. They're like, our kids shouldn't have to go to school. It's like prison.
That's stupid. Why not? They want to keep the courthouses, the judges safe. You got to do that. Keep our fucking kids safe.
Fucking airplane.
Yeah.
There too.
You know why? When there's people with money, they got to be safe. They'll do all those precautions.
Yeah.
Do it for our kids.
I agree.
I'm with having the rights to have our guns, but yeah, why not put a metal detector? They have one in a bank. Just to protect the money, they have one when you gotta go to court.
Dog, when you go to a fucking Heat game.
Yeah.
Anywhere you go.
So what? She saw that and was like, I don't want to have our kids be in school.
Dead ass. Yeah. She straight up was like, promise me. She was already very sick. She was like, yo, promise me we don't do that. And I always, my dream was, yo, go to Florida. It's like, you made it, yo. Palm trees and swimming.
All you guys talk about that, and I'm like,
and then you come out here like, because
you
know what it is. I lived in front of the Long Island Railroad. There's a train, so in front of my house, there was literally, you could park a car on the street, and there was a wall, and I had a train that went by every 15 minutes, half hour. I've been there since 1980, until 5 years ago. You don't understand how you don't end up wanting to murder somebody.
Same crib you guys had, right?
That house we stood at, you learn how you're watching a TV show that with the volume, hear the train coming and go up with the volume as the train gets closer and lower it. Because you lived in front of a train. You had to deal with kids trying to bomb the wall. Because we had graffiti all in front of my wall. I had to wake up to always dudes in the corner pissing in the corner. Because that's what you do when the train walls that, you bomb it, you piss on it, you throw bottles on it, and I say, yo, this is ridiculous.
With all that, I, for whatever reason, before even knew about hardcore music, I think it was more related to New York Yankees and shit like that. I've always had an obsession and fascination with New York City. So with all that being said, that the way some of you dudes feel about Miami, South Florida is the same way I always felt about living in New York City.
No, but there's a romance to piss and broken bottles.
I see it.
You hear like Wu-Tang playing in the background.
No, but
You hear like the intro to a Mobb Deep track or like a
But
the
I
Madball
understand
shit.
it.
Like,
I understand it because I love those days.
Yeah.
But when you live in there, like I said, you would put us in the middle of Hialeah somewhere, but on a block that just had palm trees. To a nigga from where I came from, we're like, yo, we made it. Hialeah! We're like, yo, the palm trees. I could eat a coconut, cold coconut. Whoa, shit. They got mango. Yo, it's a different world.
Yeah,
And out here, you see, no, it's regular
Yeah.
working people. But for us, our working people is different. So I loved it, but when I got away from it and I went back, that's what I noticed. I said, man, this place is dirty.
So
New York,
Yeah.
Is the neighborhood you grew up in that same spot the same shit right now?
That shit it looks like a dump.
It's not all gentrified and
It is.
Brooklyn now.
It's
and hipster
starting
shit.
to.
Yeah.
But it's still a dump. Which I remember it not being. It was always lower to upper middle class, a mix of Latin people and a little bit of Polish. There was always graph, a little bit of, but nothing crazy. It wasn't like hood where people were living in abandoned buildings, but there was lower middle class and then upper middle class.
Yeah.
When I went back, and this is as a grown man, I went, lived here 4 or 5 years, go visit, I went back, I said, this fucking place looks dirty. Yo, this shit looks gritty. Like, yo, this shit look hood. Like, yo, I can't picture my son, like, him outside where, they're just kicking a ball around with fucking garbage on the fucking sidewalk. When over here, you know how it is.
You can go
You ain't going to know.
anytime.
You got every park, indoors, outdoors, bounce house. There ain't no bounce house in New York.
Non-corona
Good,
queens.
I'll pay you. If you can find a bounce house, dandy bear, any of that bullshit. Straight up. It's different though.
Yeah.
You grew up, it's a different.
Yeah, but that like made you who you are. That made Madball who Madball is, and that like.
But I'm one of the niggas that dodged the bullet.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a 50-50 chance. When over here, not that the same shit could happen, you could come from anywhere.
Yeah.
You could come from anywhere and you got that. But we didn't have some of the options some of the kids got, our kids got. There's an after school. Get them a tutor. Put them in after school. I got a jiu-jitsu. Got a gym.
Class.
He's in a swim class. Good luck finding any of that if you ain't rich in New York.
Yeah.
Good luck. You ain't. You're not even with the YMCA, not even with none of that. There's none of that. Even here, I give it to them. You'll find, if you look, there'll be some type of activity for kids you can find. Even if it's a hood football league, baseball league, there's activities, physical activities.
Yeah, that's big down here with all the
And yeah, he's right.
Which is-
Even in the hood.
In the
Like,
hood.
right in
Especially
Overtown,
in
they
the
have an
hood,
athletic
bro.
center in the middle of
Let me
Overtown.
tell
There's
you,
a ton of youth football leagues.
Absolutely.
Uncle Luke runs with
You know what
yeah.
I give Florida big props for, and I give young kids.
Miami or
Florida? Or I'll say
Just
anywhere.
Florida is fun.
I'll say this: young kids that I see in South Florida from the hood, and a lot of them are black kids. But this is what I give them because they're young kids, high school kids, or whatever. They're driving. I'm collecting money for their football leagues.
Yeah.
Now let me tell you something. You ain't gonna find nobody in New York City who's gonna be like, who is passionate that much to be like, cause to them, I can't ask for money. That's begging for money.
Yeah.
Yet they got no money. They don't got nothing. Look, these kids love football that much. They'll get together. Yo, come to the Yo, dude, you don't know how I wouldn't have done it. I was too lazy. I was like, no, I'd rather hustle and sit. No, these kids are like, fuck it. We love football this much. Yo, we're gonna stand outside when we could be fucking around. We're gonna ask 1,000 cars, whatever it be. I was like, yo, I give them. That's big, dude.
Yeah.
That's
big down here.
And why? Again, the athletics is pushed early. If you want to go that route, you could.
The other thing is, like you said, people want to retire here. Like, you know how many NFL players live down here that are retired? And they all do
all
like
sports, not just
outreach,
NFL.
not just NFL, all
Major
sports,
League
hockey,
Baseball,
baseball.
Yeah.
And why not with the kids? You got the top people of, football, top athletes here. You get all their knowledge, let that shit trickle down. These young kids, that's why the best football players come from right here.
Yeah.
The ball players coming from here. Then there start being more soccer players coming from here.
Yeah.
It's the perfect weather. It's like you got
We play outside all year long.
There's
no matter
no
what
space.
sport.
That's
Even
what I
our
mean.
worst weather, you can play outside.
For us,
over there, I mean, there's
even
3-4
again,
months you can't play outside.
Baseball, which was big, I grew up playing. You grow up playing on the street, playing stick ball.
Yeah.
Rarely you had the full base, the full space. There were spots you had to go to. In general, you play on the block. Even the top dudes, some of my boys were some of the top pitchers in New York City. They grew up throwing literally on the block, you against the wall, that style. And then anytime they had equipment or a real field was the school field.
Right.
That don't happen down here.
You know?
Top pitchers are not throwing on the block.
No,
hell
Like
no.
they have pitching coaches down here everywhere. If you're good,
No,
you're
from
gonna
when
find,
they're 6 years old.
Yeah,
You
if
don't
you
have a
look
head
at
coach.
If you're good down here, you
Newtown,
Sports performance coach.
in
someone will
Newtown,
find you.
Ayala, the guy who was with the Mets, he was in Newtown. That was my old high school. If you look up Newtown for high schools in New York, we had an ill basketball and a baseball program. We had all the Dominican kids.
Yeah.
It was a big Dominican name, so forget it. We had the
Probably
ill
the
ball
best- one of the
players.
That's where
best
Sammy
baseball
Sosa went.
Exactly, yo.
Yo, my brother has an obsession with Sammy Sosa.
Who you mean, Sammy? Not
the
so.
new Sammy.
Not so.
The
Yeah.
new Sammy now?
Not so.
I
So.
just like, yeah, not so Sosa.
Yeah, exactly.
That should be a TV show. It shows
I'm
him one way,
surprised.
it shows him the
Of
other
all
way, not
people, I'm
so
surprised that dude does not have a reality TV.
He will. He's
He
white
should.
as fuck. Yeah,
It's weird, huh?
He's white as fuck.
He looks mad weird.
Yeah, he's white as fuck. That's
So what was the first thing you thought when you left New York City, you brought your family, and you fucking moved to the hammock?
No, but I can't remember.
You're like, oh, I'm home.
I
This
made
is
it.
chill.
I
You're like,
made
what
it.
the fuck is
No,
this?
I was already coming because.
The thing of the hammocks is
Yeah,
so far from me.
Yeah,
bro.
it's like I got used to me. It's a half hour from everything.
Yeah.
Like from where I'm at, it's a half hour here.
Yeah.
Half hour to MIA, 35. No traffic to South Beach. Just
Yeah.
far enough and long enough. Close
You don't
enough.
have to go there.
What it was, I was also. My baby's mama was down here. She was pregnant with my other son. And I was already planning to move out here, not just because my first son, but I always thought, man, this is, I always wanted to go there. Now I got a new son. I promised my wife, what better time to take this next step. Then, during that period, I met my baby mama. She got pregnant. She happened to be from Florida and from the hammocks. So I just went and saw that area. I didn't even know if I was going to stay with her or not. But I would see different areas, and I had a friend, like my boy Levels, who lives on Kaya.
The fighter level?
What up,
No,
Levels?
not him. Not Levels. He lives in Coral Gables.
Okay.
So I saw kind of that, and I would come visit. I'd go visit her, and I said, where could my son get that fantasy life that we see on TV, or at least where I can at least fake it? You know what I mean? Like the best, most bang for your buck that I could afford, because
That's definitely the hammocks, bro.
Absolutely, I play.
Definitely West Kendall.
You know, it's like I play in a hardcore band. There's no real money in this, but I grind and I work there. I got
Your
my
money goes far.
Yeah, and my
out
son goes to one of the best, and his school is one of the best. I had to research all this because it was for my boy. One of the best public schools. It was rated an A+ public school, 14 years already. That is a pay school in New York City.
Yeah.
That alone, I look at me not having to pay 20 racks a year for my son's elementary school. My son right now, his vocabulary, not because he's my son and we gas our kids up, like his vocabulary rocks mine, and I'm a grown man.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. That alone, I'm like, man, whatever it
That's
took for
worth
me,
it.
they got, wow, like, dude, I don't gotta do nothing. It's almost like, just feed them. You know, so what? Don't let them get locked up. Feed them. You know, but what it was the right vibe for me. Laid back, suburb life. It looked nice. I get more
It
bang,
does, yeah.
more bang for the buck. But and when I'm a city kid, I get my fix when I go on tour.
You have your fair share of seeing cities still. I mean, where'd you just come back from?
Yeah,
you were in North Carolina. So you passed through.
You
Every
guys still
city.
play New York all
Exactly. Yeah, I'm back there in a couple of weeks for the Black and
of the
Blue.
time. B&B.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that too.
Yeah, playing this, I get to go to every big city, so I get that city
Even in
life
other
fix.
countries. You
Yeah,
get to
hardcore is never in the dopest neighborhood
No,
of the
no.
dopest city. Usually you're in good you're in the shittiest place of the best cities.
Consider where you find hardcore here. Like you play at Churchill's.
Exactly.
And other venues in Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
They're all in bad neighborhoods.
Yeah.
I mean, hardcore hasn't moved up to the American Airlines Arena yet.
And it won't. Yeah. But it's
There's been some bands maybe.
Well, shit, man. Hardcore is taking you to Europe. It's taking you to Asia, right?
Everywhere.
No,
You haven't been to
you
Africa, right?
Yeah. Now we're gonna be. They wanted us. We're working on that. Playing South Africa and there's a couple. There's
You think there's hardcore fans in like
There's
Ethiopia
hardcore.
and shit?
There's hardcore. I guarantee you there is. There's hardcore people everywhere.
Yeah.
Cause you know why? Where there's a struggle, there's that punk rock mentality. That's what I learned. That's why you used to bug out. Like I'd go everywhere in the world and you get a Bob Marley, you get a Biggie or Tupac, or something like or some rock like metal or something. It's anything
Anywhere where
extreme,
people are hungry and they're like fighting for something.
No lie, you will see those images everywhere in the world. I've been almost everywhere. You name it, 9 out of 10%, I'm gonna be there.
So
I was there, I should say.
we're talking about like before we started recording, we're talking about like skinhead culture. We talked about hip hop. Talking about hardcore, all these like different subcultures that you've been involved in. What happened first for you?
Well, in Queens, everything is. If you're a Spanish kid in my neighborhood, you were listening to hip hop. There was a lot of freestyle music and graffiti. That was big in my neighborhood
too.
And my brother, like a lot of people that get put off from the older brother. My brother was always into metal and hardcore, so it was always in my house. Now, I didn't get the hardcore till I was like probably 11.
What year was that?
Man, I'm bad. I'm 44 now.
So like
and I got thrown out of high school. So
like mid 80s.
Yeah, definitely.
84, 85.
Yeah, early-ish. Like there was like I heard Agnostic Front and Cro-Mags.
That's what I said. Is that AF Cro-Mags?
Yeah, I wasn't like saying yet. I was a hardcore kid, but I had heard those and I noticed I loved Black Sabbath. But I knew Iron Maiden, and I would hear Agnostic Front and Cro-Mags, and I didn't know yet, but I could tell there was a difference on what I was listening to. I go, I like it all. It's all hardcore music, but then I started kind of hearing them better. I was like, wait, but they're not the same. Something I like more for another reason.
It's people from your kind of neighborhood.
Something seems
talking your shit.
Yeah, basically, my brother was like anything extreme, and then I started kind of handpicking what I liked more. What officially made it, what I think made me relate the most was, besides my brother, was there was an article, it was kind of like a Playboy magazine back in the day, a titty magazine. It was called New Look, and they had a little ass article about Agnostic Front. But back then, that was a big deal. If a hardcore band made it in anything. Like, it was the talk of the town. So my brother went to the city to buy that magazine to get this little article, just because it had AF. And I remember I'm looking at it, my brother's like, yo, check this out, they made it into a magazine, and I was like, whatever, what's the big deal? So I look at the picture, and there's a picture of Roger and Vinny in the back of CB's, like after a show, and they got no shirts on, and they're just
So
sweaty.
Roger has the fucking big tattoo.
All the tattoos, sweaty, long hair, and I remember thinking two things, I go, they look fucking like, kind of junky-ish, like dirty.
I like it.
But dirty or whatever. But I go, but yo, those niggas are like real niggas. Like they look like real dudes. Like there's nothing fake about that picture.
Yeah.
And I already like the music. And then when I kind of put that in, when I would hear it, I was like, that's the gritty guys. And I was like, yeah, I could hear it. I like that gritty stuff. And I was already into hip hop, which I really like, more the hard hip hop kind of stuff. So I was listening to the more dirtier. My brother was already into hardcore metal, and I kind of stuck more with hardcore than metal. But I was like a little bit of everything, but
So at the time back then, what was happening was AF and Cro-Mags.
Oh, absolutely. That was like
that's before Warzone, or like
yeah,
right around.
That was before Warzone. Warzone was out already, but I was just getting there.
Yeah.
Like, I was a full hardcore kid when I was 15.
Because all those dudes are in their 50s, right?
Some of them ain't as old as you think.
Yeah.
Is that when we were
Yeah.
15, they were 20. That seemed further than when you're 25 and they're 30.
Yeah, like when you think
I mean?
about Freddie was playing shows when he was 7,
Yeah.
8, 9 years
That's
old.
crazy. Like Vinny.
Crazy.
Like what we just realized now, Stigma is 63. Forget the 50s. He did all of that. That's done. 59. You're like, oh no, past 60, 60 something. He's on tour right now.
How?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
He's lived hard.
Like, there's no luxury. That's grind. But that shows what he loves it. That dude lives it and he loves it. Like he loves
that
what he
dude's
does.
on like the Mount Rushmore of hardcore, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
You etch his face.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Both of them, Roger.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's other guys I'm not too
Freddie's
crazy
coming
about.
next on.
There's another dude I'm not crazy about, but he'd have to be on there too.
Well,
but
look, I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. He like grew
Yeah.
up
Absolutely.
like young poets.
the first, all that.
There's
is
photos
fucking-
of him
Absolute-
as a kid, right?
Absolute-
With the tattoos, and he was like
Fucking
not
6
even
years
10
old,
years
right?
old.
All those, that's like a first wave of that.
I wonder, most people know who we're talking about.
You know, they don't Google it.
Yeah. Figure it out.
If you're already hearing this shit, you're on a computer, you can Google it. But like, Roger and Vinny, those dudes never stopped. Those dudes always carried the flag. Those dudes carried the flag when it was in style and not in style 20 times over. Whenever you hear about Metallica or Slayer talking about bands, they named about 2 bands, Agnostic Front, Cro-Mags.
Yeah.
And the Misfits. But that
Misfits,
Misfits is something else.
Misfits
But
too.
you know, more of the New York hardcore, what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. And they're still, AF's gonna be recording another album. They're still on tour. They still represent, they do, you know, they do it all, man. You know, it's
Cro-Mags do as well, but what I will say is AF, man, I hate to say this, but I think AF has stayed more true to what they've done.
it's
And
absolutely.
they've been way more consistent.
Absolutely.
Cro-Mags have not put anything out.
they
ever.
haven't.
Still play the
They've
same
been
set.
through so many different
Well,
groups.
and now it's like John Joseph and whatever homies he can put together. Now this last lineup they just went out with was dope, and they sounded fucking so good. But it's John would come down to Miami and it would be the Cro-Mags jam, and it would be like dudes from
Yes.
The Enemy, Hialeah niggas that would play in Cro-Mags with John singing.
Yeah.
Which was dope to see. It's just awesome to be in that guy's presence, knowing that so
it's
much
like
history, bro.
if you can't get the whole thing,
Yeah.
you got one of the things. And believe me,
AF is more, when you see them,
Hell
it's
yeah.
true to where they started.
absolutely, they never stop, and they consistently done it and consistently made records. If you like them or not, that's about us. The same thing with us. I say you don't gotta like us, but we put out this is our 9th album since '94. We haven't stopped, and if we stopped, it was because Freddie went to jail.
Yeah, and well, it was even
You know?
before '94.
Yeah,
because
yeah, exactly.
That's when you got in the band.
I'm just talking about with me.
Yeah.
With me, it's 9 albums, and I don't know, whatever 7 inches, and the band was doing 7 inches before me.
So you guys are the next generation, because now, I mean, how many other bands came from after Madball started?
Yeah.
So you guys are already, I would consider you guys the OGs in the scene.
Fuck yeah.
And you guys are the younger brothers of the guys we're talking about.
Like I said earlier to your brother, with the kind of stuff that we're doing, but this is how I always describe Madball. I always say, we're the cool uncle who just got out of jail. we're older dudes, but we ain't your father. And then you gotta respect us, but you like chilling with us.
Yeah.
The young kids show us love. The old dudes know who we are, show love. You know what I mean? And that's how I kind of see us. We're in a good spot where the young kids still listen to us, you know, and trying to see we ain't those out of place old guys just yet. We're just those older dudes, but there's still people like, you know, are feeling what we're doing, at least some of them. And the older dudes are now our age or older. They're like still rep for us, you know, they're rooting for us. So
you joined the band. You were mentioning the different EPs and the different stuff. So there was Ball of Destruction and Dropping Many Suckers, right?
Yeah.
Were you on those two, or you came for Set It Off?
yeah, so
Or did you record Set It Off, or
yeah,
you joined after?
No,
you
I
recorded?
joined my first album, and I joined right before Set It Off. That was in '93. I'm on the cover of the Dropping Many Suckers.
Yeah, you showed me that.
Yeah, but that was because it was all Agnostic Front guys.
Yeah.
But they couldn't be because of contract shit.
You replaced Roger.
Yeah, and contract shit, they couldn't even be in the picture. So we got a bunch of our boys to fill in the cover, and before I was in the band, I said I'll take the picture with them.
Yeah, I have that
wasn't
EP,
that-
and you showed me. You're like, check this out. I wasn't in the band, but I'm in the cover.
Yes, I made it then. And then basically Roger moved back to Florida to become a Harley Davidson mechanic, and then they asked me to fill in. The band wasn't supposed to continue. They said, Maybe we do a couple little tours, maybe 1 Europe tour, but that's it.
Because it was like a side project. Freddie, the cute little kid,
exactly.
was sing.
And then he was like, and then when we were doing that, he was around 15, like 16ish. And they're like, yo, we're just gonna do like maybe a couple weekends, but that's it. If you want to fill in, since Roger's gone, I said, fuck it. Demise just broke up.
Your old band, Demise.
Yeah, and then me and Freddie were already hanging out. We were all hanging out. So I said, yo, we're all boys. I said, yeah, I'll fill in. Hey, you know, what's it gonna, you know, a couple of weekends, you know, whatever. I literally, that's what I thought it was gonna
How
be.
old were you at that point? Freddie was like 15, 16 years, same age, a little
No,
older?
I was a little older. When we finally, I want to say when Set It Off started, I was probably 20.
And he was 15?
Something like that.
And that's his voice when he was
16,
15.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
16ish, something like that. He was young. I remember when he was like 15,
But
16.
you hear
like,
the anger.
Oh,
in
yeah.
his voice,
Yeah.
and in your bass, and in the whole shit, you hear the fire.
What it was like the young dudes meeting the older dudes, but like clashing, not clashing in a bad way, but Matty Henderson was a younger guy from the older guys.
Yeah.
And then now he's like
Warzone era.
Yeah, like, and again, he's been around for a
Yeah.
while in the mid 80s, but he had that more up-to-date swag. Now he's meeting the young cats, me and Freddie, that are bringing that young energy, and he's like, yo, I want to do what you guys are doing, I feel it. And then we had that OG, you know, flavor, and you know, the guy who had all the technique and everything come in and
It's like a perfect mix.
yeah, like, you know, it's like
Roger's brother, like,
you know, it's like you have him as technique and finesse, and then us, we were just the brute force, the raw slab. But like, all right, he would help us chisel it and make the shit dope.
You guys were like his street cred.
Oh yeah, basically, you know. But he was able. But Matty always was the one that always saw what we were trying to do with it. He got the swag part.
Did he write all that original stuff?
Of the Set It Off half that record is him, half of it is me.
Yeah.
Set It Off, a lot of those songs were throwaway AF songs, left over.
Shit.
And then I wrote a couple of songs. And then after that, it just kind of became 50-50, not wanting, you know, it wasn't a plan like that, but if I did a half a song, Matty would be like, yo, I got an ending, or vice versa. But since he was like everybody knows him, the Berkeley graduate guy, everybody thought he did all the music.
That's what everyone, I think, always assumed.
They did. I wrote half with him, but I learned my whole game from him.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And then what about after that?
It was, you know, as far as music, I write all the music as far as the riffs, and Freddie writes all the lyrics.
I mean, I know now, but damn, all the other 8 records, that's how it's been?
Let me tell you, marijuana is an amazing flower. I don't say the word because that's where those songs came from.
Good for you.
No, but again, it's
So for Demonstrating Myself, Hold It Down, etc.
from day one, like, all right, like Set It Off, the song and lyrics are mine.
Hell yeah. It's my favorite.
I wrote lyrics, but that was me trying to write lyrics, but first real meatheadish. That's why you like it. Look, gorilla aspect to it. But I never was like a lyric guy, but like that style, that was that, and I presented a new style song that I was like, yo, I got this. And
well, honestly, they're like fucking hip hop lyrics.
That's why.
That's the thing with Madball. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that when you sit and really listen to Madball lyrics, they're all and still are and have always been hip hop lyrics.
Yeah, because this is the thing. A lot of people don't even know about Freddie. Like Freddie grew up with, you know, classic rock, hardcore, and hip hop. No metal. You know what I mean by no metal?
Freddie's like a hardcore kid.
You know what I mean by no metal?
Yeah.
Like you say, name it, he'll go, Metallica 1, Iron Man. Like that's his metal.
But since he was 7 years old, he's been in hardcore.
So
he like learned how to walk, and then he was in a hardcore band.
So the dope part for me is I could throw anything at him and he won't sing to it like a typical metal singer would sing to it. So it always becomes Madball because he doesn't attack it the same way.
Yeah.
He's gonna, even when he sings, he has a certain rhythm that's not how a metal guy would do it.
Yeah.
But it's hard, it still could be, you know, melodic, and it's still, it's weird, but it's dope, you know, it's good.
Fred's the only hardcore kid.
He really is. It's weird. Like,
well, at least who's been in it since that.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
like,
now there's people who were born
like
into
as
it.
a kid.
Look, all of us, you could say like your background's more metal. Ours was like a good mix of punk and metal.
Same thing with me was metal, hip hop, and hardcore. Like a mix. It's always a mix of that. Freddie, literally, I seen the video. He was 7 years old. and he sings the one crazy. Were you?
Yeah.
And not only does he sing it, he sings it all the time. I seen grown men to this
Wearing
day
suspenders.
cannot
I've seen those videos.
sing that right now.
Yeah.
And he seen it sing it. When the first one, he had a little Dutch boy haircut. He's like, yeah, it's crazy. And I'm like, gee, this is fucking nuts. Like to see a little kid do that, like. And that's, he's always, came up with his brother. He loved his brother. Coming around it, perfect spot for a crazy kid. You know what I mean? Like.
So when did so you were talking about your old band, right, Demise, and that was all. I mean, you guys were playing at CBGBs and local spots. So were both those bands at the same time, or
it's funny.
Demise ended and you joined Madball?
It's funny. We were around, but we were banned from everywhere.
Demise was?
Yeah.
Both.
Both at one point. But Demise was because of affiliation with stuff. So they were like, so we literally played in like maybe 4 or 5 years of being around. We probably played 10 shows ever.
Sure.
And what happened was near the end, one of the last shows that Roger played, it was a show in Long Island. It was Demise's last show, and on the bill was Demise. What do you call it? Mind Over Matter, a Long Island band, which the drummer Johnny LaFada ended up being our drummer for Look My Way. Madball with Roger, Agnostic Front with Matty Henderson or whatever. So basically, our last show, we all played with each other. And then after that show, all the bands broke up. I joined Madball, Demise broke up. So it kind of literally, at the ending, I jumped right in.
It was just seamless.
It almost seemed like it was supposed to happen like that. Straight up, like exactly like that. Last show, you were all right, and they're like, yeah, you want to fill in? All right, fuck it, I'll fill in. And then
and never
20
and now we're
years
here.
later.
So when did Roadrunner happen? Because that was very, very, very early on as well.
Yeah,
right?
again, we were on Wreckage, and what it was, I remember we were gonna go talk to that Wreckage label, it was a old label, they were friends from Roger. They used to do a lot of old punk stuff. So it was like, yeah, let's they want to do a little record, okay, let's go talk to them. On the way to walk in and talk to them, we run into Howie, an old friend of ours, who actually is the guy who ended up signing us like 2 or 3 times with Roadrunner. He signed Madball on In Effect. He did a lot of bands. And he found out, he was like, yo, you guys are doing Madball. We're like, yeah, we're gonna go talk to so-and-so. He's like, he gave us the card, he said, yo, come see me, I'm at Roadrunner now.
Oh, wow.
We went to Roadrunner. We were like, "Are you kidding me?" They were the biggest metal label at the time.
They put out like
Everyone.
Death,
Sepultura,
Fear Factory.
everybody.
VOD was on there for
everybody. But we were the first hardcore band
Before VOD?
Yeah. We were the first hardcore band on there. That's
94.
93 we got signed, and VOD didn't come on until the other imprint.
Right. The Red Record.
Yeah, that other. But it was like that. The side company of Roadrunner. It was under Roadrunner, but when Roadrunner started signing a lot of other bands. But when they signed us, it was us, Sepultura, Fear Factory, Typo Negative, Bolt Thrower.
Now it's only corny new metal.
And literally,
Angels and Airwaves.
Yeah. Literally, we were like, you kidding me? Like, the biggest label wants to sign us, and we're
Back then, that was
and we're
sick.
even like, we're not trying to be a real band. We were like, yo, this is gonna be for a couple of weeks.
So you guys were still pretty much playing only in New York,
Yeah,
and shit like that, or
you
in
know,
that northeast area.
Northeast, like we did. That was the extent. Oh, we might do a couple shows in Boston, Connecticut, but that's it. And then the biggest metal label offers us the record deal. We said, yeah, we'll sign anything. We don't care. This band ain't supposed to even last a couple of
We're
weeks.
talking about like this guy's gonna get shot. This homie.
Yeah, we're like,
like
we ain't supposed to last. We're like, we'll sign anything because it won't matter. This band ain't gonna last that long. It just wasn't the plan. And then the next thing you know, we did the first album, and then the first album got a big buzz. And then even at that time, we were still wilding out. We were like selling. We were doing whatever we had to do to get money. Even when those first couple records were out. And then we said it got to a point, the lifestyle got too crazy. We said either we're gonna be Scarface or we're gonna try the music thing.
Or Metallica.
Yeah.
Aerosmith.
Not even that. Not even that. We know this music don't make it like that.
No.
But we said we could be Scarface or we could be Alive.
Yeah.
Just and free. You know, and then basically when Freddie got out of jail, he did that little stint. When he came out, we were like, yo, if we do the band, we got to do it right. Let's not, let's try to do it full blast.
What was the last record that came out? Was that Hold It Down?
When he went to jail?
Yeah, the last record.
Yeah, I think it was a Hold It Down record because we just got signed to Epitaph. And Freddie.
That record's on Epitaph?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
And it was our first record with Epitaph, which is more like a,
like
more
SoCal
positive.
Shit.
Shout out to Epitaph. They gave us a chance. But then before the record even dropped, Freddie got locked up. So I know they were like,
yeah,
what
that
the
makes
first
that
and last
shit real.
hardcore band. Because they haven't put out a lot of hard, especially even around
Well,
then.
so I mean, it depends on your opinion on hardcore, but they put out Converge.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. They
But
put
later
out,
on, right?
Yeah.
Jane Doe wasn't on there.
No. It's like Action Fail or whatever.
So during that era, like late 90s, early 2000s, I only remember them for
mainly
SoCal, Pennywise style.
Exactly.
Shit.
It was mainly that.
Them and Fat Wreck. Like,
exactly.
Could be any band would be on either one.
Exactly.
No,
a lot of bands got put out on one and then the
Hellcat, those style of. But they always had love for the hard stuff in New York.
Yeah.
I gotta say, it was they didn't have to sign Madball. He liked Madball and I like the idea that it was a Cali label, and to me it don't matter if you got love for us and be part of the team. Let's go.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of the same scene.
It is.
I mean, because
it
punk rock
was back
kids are
then.
hardcore
Exactly.
kids. And
to me, it's like, yo, if you're under the hardcore umbrella, if I like you or not, and if people just know what it's all about, if we're gonna associate us with this, then we're this.
Yeah.
We all like it or not, don't like it, but they're gonna associate with this. Let's fucking rep that
Well, look,
shit.
back in the day, there could be like a look. I'll use South Florida as an example. Newfound Glory came out of South Florida. Chad played in Shai Hulud.
Yeah.
Chad. This sounds corny as all hell, but Chad was like our Freddie. Chad played in Shai Hulud when he was 14 years old, 15 years old. Those old records, that voice came out of a fucking little boy. And those bands had members of bands like Strong Arm, who went and did Further Seems Forever, who did fucking Dashboard Confessional.
Absolutely.
And there's like pop bands and emo bands and death metal bands and hardcore bands.
It seems like
all play one show.
Your band could be a punk band, but if it has members of dudes from hardcore band, it's a hardcore band. So like, would you call Madball like punk at all?
No.
It's hardcore, right?
Exactly.
Because there's that weird line. So like H2O sounds very punk-like to me. You close your eyes, H2O's a punk band. Right?
Absolutely.
But then you look at them and you're like, hardcore dudes.
And there's an attitude, but to me, I see it like this. If you're gonna put it on the hardcore music, that's you putting our world in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Do it. It's like Team Soul. Right now you're doing a competition. Not everybody on the team you like.
Nope.
Like your homeboy. But
Sure not.
right? But when you up there, you want your team to rep.
Yeah.
To your wackest dude, in personal life, doesn't matter. When you're taking care of business, they're gonna associate you with the team. You're as strong as your weakest link. You don't want a weak link, even if you don't like them. Everybody excelling. Same way with like the music. I don't agree with everybody under the hardcore umbrella, but if they're saying hardcore and they're showing respect, or at least shedding light to the old school guys, not even us, forget Madball. Show love to AF, show love to Sick of It All, show love, to the Chromax, to know your, at least, you don't gotta know every route. We barely know our own American history, but learn a little bit. Okay, these are OGs, okay, yo, respect. Yeah, Metallica love these guys, okay, that's it. And then keep saying it and flying the flag. Our world doesn't get radio play, you know what I mean?
We talk about it all the time. There's that, like, AFI, they call themselves East Bay Hardcore, or at least they did call themselves East Bay Hardcore.
Now it's 8th grade goth girl.
Yeah, but yo, like...
They were a hardcore band.
I guess...
Their first 3 albums sound...
They were.
Yeah, but I mean, look, you listen to it and you put it next to Rancid. Rancid sounds way harder than AFI.
Not their first 2 albums.
But you know what it is
Very Party is like pretty
it's
hardcore.
how you take it in context. You put their old thing in the right club, surrounded by the right bands. They're the lighter band of that kind. You're like, okay, it's what they became. What do I think when you say them, that's a hardcore? No, to me it's not.
Yeah.
They were hardcore kids. The hardcore sound ain't what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I learned that a long time ago. What I thought was hardcore is no longer what's considered hardcore. There's bands now with organs, people calling hardcore with keyboards. You know,
keyboards aren't hard.
To me,
keyboards are not hard.
Yeah. To me, I don't get it. You know, it was never part of. But whatever. You know, I'm also not that old guy trying to hate.
Yo, this dude behind you loves hardcore bands with organs.
Yeah, you know, keyboards. It's like, again, I love that, you know, bands are stepping up and coming out the box. That's a little too out the box for me.
Yo, but some of those bands are still showing love to.
And that's why, and that's exactly what I said. I don't gotta love it to not back it.
Yeah.
I don't need to love it. If I back what you stand for, I don't gotta like you. But I back what you think. Okay, yo, you're fighting for what we all fighting for, to get, you know, our world get respected. All our bands, to show that we could run a business as good as anybody. We could be a band as good as any band. We don't gotta
still stick to.
We
like
don't gotta be
roots.
in a suit. You don't gotta be in a matching Reebok suit with, you know, with whatever playing. I don't gotta be in a suit. You know, we could do that. Still learn the real shit. Still be respected in our fields, but yet come from the world we come from. That was the whole point. My whole point is like, I'm for the cause, and not because that's my record.
You're plugging the new record.
Not because I'm doing that, but that's why we say that. Whatever takes this shit to the next level.
For the cause out July.
Out of July 15th. But,
Who's putting it out?
Nuclear Blast.
Oh shit! Another classic.
Another metal right now. Yeah. The more metal.
So back to that. I mean, because there's the line that goes, it's like punk, and then hardcore's in the middle, and then metal's over here. So you hear a lot of stuff that sounds very metal-like. People call them hardcore bands.
Yeah. I think it depends on like the homie who's in the band and whatever they rap.
Yeah, it's a lot of the person individually
Like that.
and attitude.
It's exactly, that's what it
If you're
all
talking
became
about
now.
Dungeons and Dragons, it's
Yeah.
a metal band.
Well, like Ringworm sounds very metal-like, and the dudes look metal.
Yeah.
But I hear it referred to as hardcore.
They get better feedback from hardcore kids than metal kids.
Absolutely.
But look at a band like Power Trip also.
Yeah.
Like that's the same
But
kind
like
of shit.
what you said is the mentality right now of what's a hardcore. Before it had to be your mentality, your lifestyle and your music. Now sonically doesn't matter as much.
Yeah.
If you're, because Code Orange, all those kids went to hardcore punk shows.
Yeah.
They did go. We took them out on their early shows. They always show mad love, and I like the band for what it is. It's not what I sit around listening to, but they're tight, they're different. Yo, shout out to fucking Code Orange.
Yeah.
You know, the young kids, they show
shit
mad
gives me a
love.
headache.
Oh, it's too crazy for me. That's real murder music. You will want to kill somebody listening to that. But, so what, I could sit there and pick apart sonically. That's not this, that's not that, but they're all hardcore kids. They came up playing hardcore shows. They show love to all the old school hardcore bands. At least with us, they was respectful. Their early tours, we took them out.
Yeah.
So
it's dope that
now we're gonna dissect it.
Look, to be honest, I actually like elements of some of their stuff more than their previous stuff even.
I know what you mean though. It's different.
Look, if it's heavy, I can fuck with some of it.
Yeah, I mean, every genre of music is like that. You grow up listening to the bands before you, plus some other stuff. You put it together, but maybe you still call yourself hardcore because that's what you grew up listening to.
And I'll take you to the other spectrum in a second. Turnstile. Okay, that's
I
the
can
other
fuck
band.
with some
Of
Turnstile a
course,
little bit. I don't love it,
You know
but-
why? Turnstile is sonically more traditional to what we came up with.
Yeah,
They're
they cover
more
Bad Brains and shit.
Absolutely, but you hear that? That's more like, the hardcore we all listen to, more than the Code Orange-ish.
Yeah.
But I don't sit around and listen, and I you know what? Salute to the Turnstile kids. They changed this. They went for it. They did their own
And they're
turn.
fucking killing it.
They're
just
killing
like
it.
Code Orange.
And they're hardcore kids.
Yeah. They for real are hardcore
Yeah,
kids.
but that's what I'm saying. Is like, so it's like now we just got to nitpick on who's more hardcore kid than who.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It becomes that. It's like, fuck it. That's just you
Let
rooting for
everyone
hardcore.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm just gonna fuck with whatever band I like better. I
Ex-
don't really love either of them.
That's
I'm
what I
not
mean.
gonna put them on, but like their older stuff, Trapped Under Ice, I fuck with heavy.
Absolutely.
That shit's very
Yeah,
good.
believe me, there's a lot of hardcore shit I don't listen to just because it's hardcore doesn't mean you gotta like it.
Yeah.
But to me, like people are like worried about the label. I don't care about who's labeling what, as long as they're putting our name in the ears of the people that don't know what hardcore is.
Well, look, back in the day, like I said, at least down here, the vibe was very much any band could play any show.
Yeah.
There was punks, there was skinheads, there would even be like hip hop acts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we were talking about Beatnuts before you came here. Beatnuts played at Grand Central. The hardcore bands played the night before. Like
we played the Limelight in New York back then. It was a Madball, Beatnuts, Doggy Dog. Like those
your whole neighborhood's
and that's my boy, and those are
my.
my boys. Again, I grew up with Juju from the Beatnuts. That was like my man. Like he was an older guy. I was 10 years. I know when I'm 10 years old, 11 years old. Like I grew up with that shit. Like hip hop was always around, and music was always around. So it's like it's the attitude. Those dudes get it. They weren't rock dudes, but they got that street. They related or street music. What the people, real people are thinking, not an idea of a group of people, what individual people are thinking on life. That's what that whole shit was.
So for me, growing up down here, you know, we had, for us, like iconic bands, like Morning Again was a really big deal down here. Not so much a traditional hardcore band, more of like a metallic hardcore band. But the minute I started learning about bands like Madball, I would see you guys, I'd be like, damn, they fucking look more like me. It'd be like Freddie wearing a wife beater and rosary beads. You've got a bald head and a mustache, heavily tattooed. Like they're Latinos, they have songs in Spanish. Like they look more like us. And you know, I started to research more and more New York City hardcore bands, and like there were so many crazy fucking rumors about Madball, DMS, Ezek, AF, the graph culture and how that influenced Madball. How, like, can you clear some of that shit up? Like, how did all of that start to happen?
Well, it was just basically a group of friends, and we all ended up being in bands. We all came up hanging out with each other in the park, doing graffiti, listening to music. Then you know how that starts. A couple of dudes that start a band. A lot of people played in different bands trying to pop stuff off. So automatically in the park you're listening to what you listen to on the radio. It's hip hop. Hardcore, what you have, your cassette tapes, your demos and your cassettes, your tapes. What are you doing when you're in the park? You're bombing. You know, so we grew up with all that. Then hey, let's start a band. It just kind of, everything was intertwined with everything. We were, there was a lot of us. Not a lot, but when you got more than from 10 to 50, but if you got 10, 15 diehard people who are all moving the same way, it makes a loud presence.
Yeah.
So we were, whatever be the amount of people we were, if it was 15, 25, 30, whatever it be, everybody was really wild back then.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of wildness that went into the music. When we would tour, our lifestyle followed us, so along with that, there was a lot of...
Many of the rumors are true.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff, there's rumors that a lot of them are fake. There's a lot that were... It was a lot of craziness, for sure. A lot of crazy.
Yeah, because even now, like you drive on the street in Miami, DMS still is on a wall.
Yeah, it was a crazy thing, you know, it's something that...
You guys talk about it very openly. You have a record called Dropping Many Suckers. You have songs called DMS. Like,
it's just weird to me. I just see it. To me, it's just a big group of friends. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know. But like in any family, you have the workers. You got the criminals. You got the big mouths. You got the people that got money. You got the poor, the people that ask for money. You got the people that are sick, the people that are the helpers. It's literally the same way. A lot of us, not all of us came up since we were little kids, but a core of us came up since we were young. That's why it's very, very tight knit. The core of it is very tight because I was one of the lucky guys that had a mother and a father that my family was intact. 9 out of 10 of my guys didn't have that. So they would come to my house. They all called my mother Ma and my father Bob. When they had nowhere to live, they came and lived at my house. Nobody, if you had nowhere to sleep, you slept at my house. If you had nothing to eat, you ate at my house. So a lot of the guys like Ezek, Freddie, they all lived in my house. At one point or another, they fed, ate, they did everything at my house. So we have a bond more than just hanging out at the show and or at the club or you know all that. We have it where, you know, we were surviving together. You know what I mean? We came out and we were young kids. We're not talking about, you know, grown men. Like, you know, I'm in my 21, 22 state because I crashed in college. We were 15 years old.
Children.
16 years old. Yeah, you know, you have a kid. Imagine that. 10 years from now, that's your son. How old is your kid?
5.
Exactly, 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years from now, your kid having to sleep, you throwing him out on the street. Imagine that. And not only that, that him having to say how I'm going to eat. And hoping that you met somebody like that. Thank God, you know, my parents raised a lot of my homeboys. But that's what the thing with us, what I try to explain is like, it's more than a couple of fights we did together, or, you know, a couple of, you know, we had big shows and done some cool things in magazines and say, yo, you know, we survived together from a young age. You know, like when it really counted, we had each other's back from early. Not like as a grown man, when we had nothing, we knew we had each other's back.
So the lyrics are like very much
Absolutely.
real.
Absolutely.
Because that's everything you guys
We
talk
never
about.
faked the song.
I feel like I'm listening to a Madball
No, we never, but we never
yeah.
faked the song. It's
Yeah.
back then. Later on, Freddie would do an idea, vague story, all those other things like World Is Mine. So that's about my man Double O. My man Scotty Banks, who just got out of jail. There's a song about him. Those situations 5-0. That was about me and Freddie getting pulled over and the cops fucking, like, it was literally the things that happened on the spot. It was just a lot to write about, you know.
Yeah.
So it was like, but that was the whole thing. And with that being said, we were so close. Some of us went more this route, some of us went more that route, but we always stuck together and always, you know, had each other's back. So it always intertwined. Graffiti, music, and the street life always intertwined with each other.
Yeah.
And the more older we got, if the band got bigger and the artists got more known, the aura got bigger.
You talk about Isaac. I don't think there's anyone more like such a big personality that people have so many fucking questions about. My guy, like,
well, yeah. I mean,
he's definitely someone we would want to have on.
Yeah, he's interesting. he's interesting. Not, you know, again, there's a lot of guys. There's a lot of movies that could be made.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's managed to stick around for...
Yeah. And that, he's been through it heavy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, definitely. You know, I gotta say, you know, everybody who's still around, that, you know what I mean? We're the lucky ones. Everybody has a story, even from, like, again, you know what I mean? I'm the one who probably, as far as parent-wise, had one of the best scenarios as far as my parents.
Well, I mean, I think it shows, like,
you know,
getting to know you and, you know, being homies with you, seeing how you have brought up your kids.
And thank God, and I know what I've done, and I don't even want to think of, you know, I know, I don't even want to think, I don't want to think back. And I'm like, you know, there's guys that had more of a reason. I got wild as a kid because I like being wild.
Yeah.
Not so much because, you know, we were lower middle class always fluctuated, but there was always, you know, it was never dirt poor. It was never like that for me. But I was a wild guy and I liked the wildness. I liked the adrenaline
That's the
rush.
same way it was for us.
That's what guys that do graffiti, same thing, that rush of doing something in and out, taking care of business and getting away with it, and, you know, and doing damage, that whole shit. You know, it was like, you gotta have that in you. You know what I mean? And it's like, all of us just happen to find each other. Ezek, me, Freddie, all different worlds. MQ, that's my brother since day one.
Yeah.
I know graffiti than I know before I know music. You know, MQ is my brother since I'm 6 years old.
It's crazy.
That's not like, you know, some niggas pick a number. Oh yeah, well I know you for 50 years, yet at 30 years old. Like,
but that's a staple in the graffiti community.
Hell yeah.
Definitely. I mean, I've traveled out of the country, and I go to piss in the airport in Paris, and his name's scratched on the toilet seat.
There's people that've been in prisons in Japan that seen tags.
Yeah. Well, not just that. Also, like, we'll be driving from Barcelona to some town outside to Spain. You know, like an example like that. You're in the middle of the mountains in California, and he has a throw up like sideways on a truck.
And I'm like, my boy says he's some welcome to Tijuana, and it's an MQ bomb.
Welcome to MQ, and you're like, no way.
I'm not even joking. I'll tell you one. I'm not even joking. Ezek was dating this girl, and she was working in Japan. This was about maybe 15 years ago. And my boy Narc, like, he was a travel agent at the time and got hooked up with some tickets to go overseas for cheap. So we said, let's go. Long story short, we were in Japan when Ezek was in Japan, so we called each other, yo, let's link up. So he tells me, so we're like, yo, we'll meet you
That
at
should
this
be a
stop.
YouTube series.
You know what?
Ezek in Japan.
And we're like, yo, me and Narc were like, yo, we'll meet you. He goes, okay, meet me at my stop. It's so-and-so stop and whatever train. We get out at the stop and we're waiting for him in the corner. We're on that corner and there's a bar that goes down, downstairs from the sidewalk and there's a handrail. And we're just leaning up against the rail or whatever. We're like, my boy Mark goes, look, scratched into the arm rail. There was MQ tags. It was MQ.
That's crazy.
Coincidence. That was the most.
And there's other writers that other people will put their shit up. There's one.
And I know that's my brother since 1980. That's not a made up number, like 1980. Like I know him more than anything. And when I saw that, I was like, this gotta be. But that's how he does it. You know what I mean? That nigga's a ghost. You know?
So you talked about B&B a little bit. You said you guys are playing next month? Or
it's about a month from now on.
What is B&B exactly? I know you guys have a festival you guys do, and you guys have like a production company, you put on a few shows and shit.
Yeah, basically Black and Blue is basically a bunch of us, the same dudes. Some of us are in the band, some of us, it's under the umbrella of all of our guys. Same
DMS,
thing.
Madball,
yeah,
B&B.
exactly. It's kind of the dudes that are doing stuff like promoting. They do like Freddie and Cuz Joe, they promote the Black and Blue Bowl. We do it every year.
How many years has that been going on for?
They've had one back in the day. They've always had a Super Bowl of hardcore.
Super Bowl hardcore, yeah.
Remember back? And I think this one has been going on, wow, maybe close to 10 years now, Black and Blue doing it. So basically we throw this one show every year where we try to get some of the old school bands back together.
Playing this year,
yeah,
right?
they're playing this year.
Thorns is playing this
Crown
year,
of Thorns,
Madball.
Madball, I'm Slain. First time we having a hip hop act from Boston. Slane's gonna be doing that. A lot of more. You know what it is? It was actually this year was gonna be it was actually gonna be moved to a different time. It was gonna get canceled because the Misfits are playing that day in New Jersey.
Oh.
So that was the
Half the
problem.
crowd.
That's just way too expensive for half that
But
crowd.
I'll tell you what happened.
$150 ticket.
I'll tell you what happened. You'd be both surprised. This was part of the reason. We had just played New York in the same club a couple of weeks ago.
Damn, it can't be the same day.
We weren't planning to do that. When they threw the Black and Blue, they decided to throw it in the same club. It's smaller, you know, the Brooklyn Bazaar, the one they're doing it. And that day,
It's been outdoor the last few years, right?
what happened?
The B&B Bowl's been outdoors.
Yeah, it was just 1 year outdoors, but it's always been in bigger places.
Okay.
This one is the only place we could get Brooklyn Bazaar, or they decided to throw it together anyway for whatever reason, scale it down. But that day, that was the problem. They said, fuck it, it's in a smaller spot, we should still be able to get a cool headliner for that.
Yeah.
Nobody was around because everybody had at least one band member going to this show.
Yeah, that's a
Everyone
good
was
point.
Sheer Terror,
One member.
Sheer Terror, or somebody, one member was going or whatever.
Especially in the Northeast. I mean, that's like
That's
fucking... that's
exactly,
their hood, man.
and that's the only reason that we even.
How much is that ticket?
It was at least
150?
150. At least.
That makes
It's
so much
ridiculous.
money.
It sold out right away.
Yeah.
And basically, Freddie works with it, and they needed a straw
They won't have
headliner.
Madball open for this.
Yeah, right. We would have done it, but they're doing that other guy's doing it. Murphy's Law's doing it.
They're playing
Suicidal.
Misfits?
Yeah.
Who's
Opening.
playing Misfits?
That other guy is opening.
Oh, the other guy. Oh.
He's opening. Murphy's Law.
Why the other guy?
Because they're friends. I guess they're all friends. You know, they all came up with each other
Oh,
with
wow.
Glenn Danzig, whatever. Fair enough, whatever. But
Why not the other guy?
yeah, but they got exactly. But they got Murphy's Law, so I'm psyched for them. I'm Suicidal Tendencies,
Damn.
and the Misfits. Are
You guys just are off a tour with Suicidal Tendencies, right? Or
No.
like last year?
we did we throughout the years we did a couple of runs with them. We just did the last one we did was with Hatebreed and Terror in Europe, but Suicidal.
That should have come here, though.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that was like the end of Jamie doing the Satisfaction
Yeah.
thing, right?
Yeah,
I
and
didn't see that.
Suicidal.
All those great shows always happen in Europe. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, sick.
I know.
Oh, Berlin. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Suicidal, good dudes. They're old friends of ours.
They're like the West Coast AF.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
they still hold it down. Still
They're
do some
killers.
shit.
They're good dudes.
Yeah, I never fucked with them too much. I got mad respect for them. We did a Suicide tribute shirt, more for like like what is suicidal, but their music I never really fucked with.
I was the same way. I thought a couple songs were cool. I was never rocking them, but I always backed them, and then I backed them even more now because they're good dudes. Yeah. Which made me like the music more now.
And they still keep it real as fuck.
They're good, classy dudes.
They peaked more than AF and some of those
Absolutely.
bands, for sure. They did big things.
They toured with Metallica in 86, 88. They did arenas for Justice for All or whatever. You know, they had, I want to say, institutionalized. That probably went platinum.
Yeah. Just one Pepsi.
Yeah,
that shit was heavy.
That shit is huge.
Yeah.
That's like,
I feel like that was like on movie soundtracks. Like
everything.
It was in that era.
And MTV's greatest videos. That's gonna be one of the videos.
Did they take time off?
They always do here and there. You know, they're like one of those that they put out a record.
Never, bro.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah. We come from that school like. You
take time off, you're not gonna make bread.
You know,
right?
exactly. You know, you're not coming in. You know, I bet you would love to stay home and eat.
Can't.
You know, and you can't because
if I stay home and eat, there's not more food.
Exactly. But then you make sure you're stuffed, and then while you could be doing something that can't be done, you know, that's one less hand. That's the same with this band shit. It's like we have to stay busy to survive, but we try to be slick about it. We don't go out 6-7 weeks in a row. We do 2 weeks. We do 8 days. We do 15 days. Come home a week.
When you guys go to Europe, you spend more time out there. You have to.
We don't do more than 2.5 weeks.
Oh, really?
If you see me do 3 weeks, that's probably once every 2 years, and that's like, oh, we got a 3-weeker.
And that's like when Korn took.
Yeah, and then that was a show. That's the thing. I gotta be money. Like, you know,
tell everybody about that.
Oh yeah, no, we did
you
that.
You guys played at Wembley with that tour.
That's crazy.
So what was the tour? You and who else?
It was us, then Limp Bizkit and Korn.
Did you ever think that?
No, dude. That's what I say. I never thought. And if you go, and the funny shit is
Hoya and Fred Durst.
That's what I'm saying.
Homies.
The funny shit is
he likes all that stuff, right?
Yeah, like, tell me that I won't say he was like a hardcore kid, but he was a skater kid.
Yeah, he was a skater.
And then he knew he liked AF Suicidal. So when my boy Chris was doing his security for them, they would always talk about music, and then they were playing a festival, and Big Chris was like, "Yo, let's go check out AF." My boys, Fred was like, "Yo, Victim in Pain's my shit."
Oh shit.
Yo, blah, cause he's a skater kid. You know them, blah. They met up. They started talking. You know,
this is when? This is like recent?
Yeah, the last maybe couple years.
That's what put together the tour.
Yeah,
right?
and then Chris was doing that, and we were on the road. So we would be playing these little shows and sending videos, and Big Chris would be showing Fred, and he's like, "Yo, this is Roger's brother." And he's like, "Yo, they're dope. That shit is dope. Like, oh man, they're doing their thing." He goes, "Yo, you think they would be down to play, to do a couple of shows with us?" Exactly. And we were like, fuck it, hell yeah. Literally, Freddie met them. They had lunch, they talked, just bullshitted. A week later, they're like, yo, you got like a week or two of shows in the UK with them. And it was just Madball, Limp, and Korn.
That's so
it's like,
crazy.
the people that our world talked the shit the most about was the guy that gave a band, a chance. So including myself, we could.
I mean, look, he was wearing the New York hat, and like he kind of looked like a hardcore kid.
Even forget that,
especially during the
New
Jersey era.
Even forget that
hardcore.
I'll tell you 2 things. Number one,
he was a graph writer.
Number one, they didn't need to put Madball. What did we bring to that bill? Nothing. He didn't have to. And for what, street cred? No.
Not there.
Even if he did,
not
for what? In our, exactly where?
Yeah, not in Leeds.
Yeah. You know what? But that's what I mean. What it was. He said something, he saw something, he liked it, he said it,
he fucked with you,
and he did it. Now, you know how many times we have people in our world, under this umbrella I've been talking about, hardcore, that at one point were the biggest bands and never took us on tour? I'll give you money if you could name more than 5 tours that we've done opening for somebody.
Yeah.
If it wasn't Downton Doggy Dog back then, the 10 for 10 tour, whatever, or opening for Suicidal recently.
Yeah.
Nobody would take us on tour, even when we were hot, and the new band, for whatever reason, if they were intimidated,
they're probably scared
both ways or whatever, but they didn't. But when we were playing their city, they wanted to stand on stage. Yeah. They wanted Freddie to be on a track with them. You know, they wanted all the accolades, but they never took us out. Fred says, I like what they did. Yo, they're down. 2 weeks later, we were playing Wembley Arena, which is...
That's the biggest shit you've ever played, right?
Well, I played a bigger show. My biggest show was in '95 for 120,000 people.
That's that famous video when Freddie falls
Yeah,
over
on the stage, yeah.
That gets reposted and played all the
But
time.
I got to
Where
play.
was that?
That was in Holland in 95.
What festival was that?
Dynamo Fest
Yeah.
95. It was our biggest first
How
fest.
many people again?
100,000.
One stage. Ridiculous.
You never thought that hardcore from Corona Queens would take you
Absolutely
to
not.
Holland?
Does hardcore translate well in like Wembley Stadium? Does it sound good?
Yeah, well, you know, I ain't trying to sound cocky, but we the shit. No. All jokes aside, we're a tight band, right?
You understand my question, right? Like,
I totally
can't-
try. I know you mean
for me, hardcore is for a
sounds
small
like
room.
A small club always catches the attitude the best. But sonically, we have a great sound man and we're a tight band. If you're tight, it's like doing technique.
Hoya brings that.
You know what I mean? It's like technique. Technique beats everything no matter where you at. Now in the right equipment, now that technique gets even better. You got the right grip on that ball, even same way.
Yeah.
Now, if you got shitty technique, you can put the best gear, best bars, you're gonna look like shit. It won't translate.
Yeah.
We've played a lot of big stages. We've learned how to adapt to work a big stage, you know, and sonically we're tight, which helped it translate. Does hardcore fit better in a small club pack? Absolutely.
Yes.
But you could come off on a big club.
Were kids moshing and like
Yeah, but not like a hardcore show.
knowing the songs out there?
Not
Limp
that-
Bizkit
not like
style
that.
circle pit.
And it was kind of like
bouncier.
nobody
Finger
nobody
pointing
knowing
shit.
who the fuck we were.
Damn, that's crazy.
But
Good for you guys.
at the end of the show, everybody put your hands up. Everybody put their hands up.
Well, that's dope.
Applauding.
Now, a group of different people now are checking for Madball.
Yeah.
And it's cool. You guys have done that. You were talking about Turnstile.
Yeah.
You were talking about a Code Orange and stuff. You guys did a tour with Turnstile 2 years ago.
well,
And now, look, when you go see Madball, just with Madball, all the gorillas come
Yeah.
out. I see all the dudes who I've seen at those shows
Exactly.
for the last 15 years. Then, you guys bring Turnstile, and
You get
the Madball
Yeah.
crowd comes out, and now the younger kids come out, and you get a group of people who are now turned on to Madball.
Exactly.
And then it works the other way around.
yeah, that's
You
kind
know,
of the
like-
idea. We were the new band at one point.
Then the Madball dudes are now like, oh man,
Yeah.
Turnstile's pretty dope. Let me check
all
for the
the
young
older
shit.
dudes hated on us when we came out. They said we were too wiggerish. We had too much hip hop.
Maybe they were right.
But you
still made it.
Yeah, they had too much this, too much that, but we did what we wanted to do.
Sounds like a recipe for my favorite band.
Yeah, exactly.
They're too wiggers.
Yeah, too wiggers.
They cause too much
Yeah.
trouble.
Yeah.
I
They
wanna
got
listen
gold
to this.
teeth.
They forgot.
That's my
Yeah, they
shit.
forgot. It's a hardcore band, you know. But that was the thing. So that's why I always try to look at these newer bands in a different way, without trying to be that hater. Because people, even the people that didn't like us, they were shitted on us because they didn't like us because they thought they didn't like the idea of us,
Yeah.
and that's whack. Because you didn't know, because all those dudes show us mad love now, and they thought a certain, they had an idea of who they thought we were, because we were wild dudes, but we were always good dudes. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
You know, we don't just wild out as much, but we're the same dudes, just a little more control.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we always did what we wanted.
Now we're like Madball and Kendall.
Yeah, hell yeah, palm trees. The not so Madball.
Freddie lives down here as well.
Yeah, he's a little bit more north. He's always been back and forth.
He's been in Florida longer than you.
Oh, his whole life
Yeah.
back and forth. Always. That's how we always had the Florida kind of connect. Like, we would come out here. He had family. We'd get to get that feel like, oh shit.
You could tell when he comes down here. He seems. I mean, I don't know how he acts when he plays in Raleigh
Right.
or you
The
know
same way
in
he's-
another city. But in Miami, he's like, "Who's
Yeah.
my fucking Latino?"
Yeah,
He takes his shirt off. And,
yeah.
you know.
Oh yeah, because it's rare that you have that many Spanish dudes at a
Everyone
hardcore show.
knows the words. to
Everywhere
songs,
else is a
speaks
bunch of
Spanish.
white guys.
Yeah.
You know, but
All right,
yeah.
let's wrap this up. So, your new record comes out in July.
June 15th,
June
Nuclear Blast Records. It comes out everywhere. We got Tim from Rancid on it. We got Ice-T on the track.
Oh.
And the shit is hot. Go buy that shit. Steal it. But first buy it, then steal it.
Are you guys gonna do like some kind of pre-sale special vinyl?
There should
shit?
be a pre-sale and all that thing coming up. We're actually gonna do a video soon. In a couple of weeks.
Down here?
We actually might be doing it in Cali to try to get Tim. But we gotta get some palm trees in the video.
Yeah.
But,
How about some Black and Blue South.
I know. Believe me, we've been trying to start doing more South. Even trying to do a show, a big show like that, and it's kind of hard, slow, but that's always been in the
Bringing
mix.
bands all the way down here is tough, huh?
Yeah, because there ain't shit to hit it. What are you, Orlando,
That's
Tampa?
the
Because if you come to
problem.
Miami, you got to go all the way out of Florida.
Yeah.
That's the problem, but you know, I'm still had an idea of trying
8 hours
to
in, 8
throw like
hours
a
out.
little kind of party that we did, like I told you a while ago, where they kind of spin old school old school styles, some punk, and have a small band. My boy Rico would do it in Kansas City, where you could kind of get a small band and start getting a local band, punk, hardcore, ska, get a little tiki lounge spot, drinks, just kind of do that. Guy spinning old soul, you know, and start trying to bring a bands like that, try to get bands to want to come out for like more than just a show, come out, it'll be that type of party, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of have like a,
Black and Blue South has like a really good
you know?
ring to it.
Yeah, so you never
should
know,
do
we gotta
that
look
shit.
out, you know?
So check you guys out on Nuclear Blast. Where can people find you online?
Check me out everywhere on flyguy.com. Nah. Yo, I'm on Instagram, Hoya Roc, I'm on wherever, but look out for,
Well, you got a bunch of merch that you put out as
yeah,
well, right?
I'm relaunching my website. I'm redoing everything. It's been down because I've been doing this record, but I'm relaunching that. I'm actually gonna hook you up. I got a new line I'm doing all for sports stuff. It's
Right.
called War, and it stands for We Are Revolution. You heard it here first, so
Right.
don't bite that shit, people out there. That shit is copyrighted, motherfuckers. But it's dope, and we're doing that because we're doing rash guards. And so a couple of we want to do some shorts and like a couple more, like a lot of the guys like do jujitsu or train lifting and or just work out. So we're trying to do some of that stuff too. So
You've seen a lot of, I know we're like wrapped it up and we're like jumping back into shit, but you've seen a lot of hardcore dudes. If you want to last, I mean, if you want to continue playing music and now you're 63,
yeah.
you need to start exercising.
Hey, you better
or
start doing
shit, you know?
Yeah, if you're in Florida, you better come down the soul and throw some tires around.
You got to, man.
I
That's
just
for sure.
noticed a lot of those dudes who've been playing for years. As of late, I've noticed, oh man,
Absolutely.
this guy trains. You see this guy squatting. You see this guy in
Absolutely. You know
jiu-jitsu.
what the fact is? Everybody got to do something. If you work a desk job, you know that even more. From just even sitting down, fucks
Sitting
you up.
is the new smoking.
Because you know why sitting?
I
Humans-
sit a pack a day.
Humans
My
are
back hurts just
You know
from
why?
sitting
You ain't
there
gonna
now.
get cancer from it, bro.
exactly. But humans ain't supposed to sit this position.
Yeah.
That's the problem. But the whole shit is a lot of guys are training. They gotta do something, even if it's just stretching. I think stretching is one of the most
Yeah.
best things for injury and age, and then you know how that is. You ain't gonna work out unless you stretch right, unless you want to get hurt.
Dude,
You
I
know?
saw Sick of It All play a few months ago. Oh, fuck.
Pete.
That's like a year and a half ago.
beast.
Pete acts like a 17-year-old
Yo.
kid.
Hey.
Has more energy
I
than
know.
anybody. And
I know.
He's been training when everyone was like
Absolutely.
doing other things.
We have a lot of catching up.
Yeah.
My abs are almost there. I'm like 30 push-ups from where he at. I mean sit-ups. But Pete's a killer. He's always been into he used to be a thick guy. He was into, I think he used to lift a little, and then he got into the cardio game.
Well,
And
now
jiu-jitsu.
now it's all jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. And he's always a runner though. Like he'd be running
Yeah, you
and
can
like
tell. You watch
nuts.
him on stage, dude. Those
Yeah.
guys still sound and
they-
bring it like
and
they're
doing it. And
fucking
again,
20-year-old kids.
you gotta train, do something, get your heart going.
Yeah.
You know, one way or another. So I try to, sexually be active. But pretty soon a tire too gotta get thrown. Do
We've
some
been inviting
jujitsu.
you here for the last
I
4 years,
know.
man.
I even go back and forth with the jujitsu, and it's my kids are my hardest workout, man. Just surviving that.
We've been doing
man.
jiu-jitsu here every Thursday
They tell
and
me,
Sunday. man.
Yeah, it's dope, man. I'm gonna
Yeah.
pop up one day. He was telling me.
Yeah. I need
Yeah,
someone
so-
big to roll with
Yeah,
too, man.
yeah,
I
so-
haven't. I've been rolling with all these
Yeah.
little dudes.
Yeah, but the wrong little dude fuck you
They
up.
fuck me up every
Every
single
day I know I
Thursday
get
and Sunday.
squashed all the time. That's the great, but look out for everything everywhere.
All right, man.
I mean?
Thank you for coming
No,
on.
you
bro.
know what's
Appreciate
up.
it.
Hell yeah.